In this video, we're going to solve for the volume and the surface area of a pyramid. And this pyramid is a square pyramid, meaning that the base is a square. So you can have several different pyramids with different shaped bases. This particular pyramid is a square pyramid, and that's important when we're solving for the area of the base and our understanding of the figure here. So here is the volume. We'll solve for volume first. The formula, the volume is 1/3 of the area of the base times the height of the pyramid. So a simple plug and chug. Once we solve for area and once we solve for height, plug those in, multiply them all together, and we have our volume. So the area of the base, well, the area of the base, because the base is a square, any area of a rectangle is going to be length times width, but because it's a square, both the length and the width are the same, so it's side times side, or side squared. So we just need to figure out, well, what is the length of the side? And it gives us this information. E to D is 33. We see this here. And then we have A to H, which is 56. That's this piece right here. So what we see already that we have the height. 56 here is the height. It extends from the peak of the pyramid down to the middle of the base and is perpendicular to the base. And that is our height. So we can go ahead and plug in the height of the pyramid is 56. We just need to solve for the area. Well, because it's a square, we know that the height here, this height is right at the center of the circle. Therefore, it creates, let's get the back here. It creates 4 congruent squares here in the middle. So this piece E to D is 33. Well, then we also know that H to C is 33, which will become important later. But we know that E here is a midpoint. So this F to E is also 33. So the length of one side is going to be 33 plus 33, or 66. And so we can just square that, because F to D is 66, D to B is going to be 66, made up of 33 and 33 and so forth. So 66, when we square that, is going to be equal to 4,356, which we can just plug into our formula. So we would plug in 4,356. And we would multiply that by 56 and divide that by 3, or multiply by 1/3. And as we work that out, let's see, our volume is going to be equal to 81,312. Once we plug that all in, 1/3 of 4,356 and multiply that by 56. Here is our final answer for the volume. Then as we move over and look at our surface area. Our surface area formula is the A, which is again area of the base, plus 1/2 of the perimeter times this slant height. So the perimeter, we know, is just the length all the way around. So the length, that one-dimensional length around the base. Well, we already know that the length of one side is going to be 33 plus 33, or 66. So this would be 66 added up 4 times, or my perimeter would be 4 times 66, which is equal to 264. So as we fill this out, surface area is equal to the area of the base plus 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height. So we have The area from the other problem that we did, the volume, which was 4,356. We just solved for the perimeter, which is 264. And then this slant height, the slant height is the height from the top of the pyramid down to one of the sides, and it connects the midpoint of that side and is perpendicular. So we need to solve for AC. This slant height is AC. And the way that we can do that is by looking at what we already know here. Well, we see that the height here is 56, and we can create a right triangle here. And we know that HC is the same distance as E to D. These are congruent. So now we have this triangle here. We have this triangle, which is a right triangle. And this slant height is now my hypotenuse because it's across from the 90-degree angle. So I can use my Pythagorean theorem here to say that HC squared plus AH squared is going to be equal to AC squared. So this is the same thing as saying my HC, which is part of my base here, HC is 33 squared, plus AH, which is my height, of 56 squared, is equal to my slant height squared. And we can use this Pythagorean theorem to solve for our slant height. So as we work through this, 33 squared is going to be 1,089. 56 squared is going to be 2,809. This is equal to my slant height squared. And I add those together. 1,089 plus 2,809 is going to be 3,898 is equal to my slant height squared. And then finally, I can take the square root of both sides. Inverse operation of squaring something is to take the square root. So when I take the square root of both sides, I'm left with the slant height is equal to the square root of 3,898, which is 65. Happens to be a Pythagorean triple there. So if my slant height is 65, I can plug this in. And now I'm just going to do my work up above here. I'm left with 4,356 plus 1/2 of 64 times 65, which, let's work that out real quick. So 264 times 65 divided by 2, which is 8,580, and when we combine those, we finally get a surface area of 12,936 as our final answer.